What's going on, guys? Welcome to the first episode of my NHL 25 Seattle Kraken franchise mode series. I mentioned on the first episode the Red Wings won, how Seattle actually won the Twitter poll but got second on the YouTube poll, so I said I would do Seattle after Detroit. Of course, we had a lot of success with the Red Wings franchise. I hope we can actually carry that over here with the Kraken. And as always, guys, I'll be using my Vasi and Tugi's roster. This is version 6. I have made some slight changes to it just to kind of update it more. For instance, Demidov got a ratings boost. As you can see here, the GM name is Davy Jones.
Are you ready to wait the Kraken?
Definitely a team in a weird spot. They have some kind of bad contracts. Don't really have any stud prospects. Beniers and Wright, of course, are nice, but, you know, no superstars. Goaltending to Court's already kind of on the older side. Even like their good players, Dunn, Montour, McCann, late 20s. So team's not quite good enough to be competing right now. And now this is, of course, the cost of being an expansion team that actually made the playoffs one year, was kind of going for it. So we're 84 overall, which surprisingly ties us with the Kings here, as well as the Calgary Flames. Ducks there worst, Oilers better, Sharks are the worst, Canucks 87, and then Golden Knights 89. So I'm thinking it's because of goaltending I mentioned before. It's why Florida sometimes is a bit lower. Also too, just defensive rating. If you're not kind of all balanced, it will definitely mess with the overalls. Like Columbus 82, their goaltending's pretty bad. Boston has Swayman, but after the trade deadline, they drop. Blackhawks 82. So yeah, Kraken, you know, we're probably not going to be a playoff team, so it'll probably be a full rebuild. I think that would just be the best way to, you know, handle this situation. Of course, owner mode will be turned off, salary cap on. Only other thing will actually be turned on will be computer trades. And in terms of settings here, guys, as always, injuries turned off. I know a lot of people do want me to try them on. I really hate them. I feel like it's just too much micromanaging. In terms of the trade difficulty, just to make it tougher on us, we're going to have it set to hard. And I'll actually be doing one other thing in this series to try and make it just even more difficult. You guys will see what that is later on in the episode. So I mentioned scoring here, medium, draft class, prospect quality, low till 2028. Of course, shot frequency there is high. In terms of the gameplay sliders, guys, I got the attribute effects here set to 9 out of 10. Again, just try to make it more of a realistic sim. This will make the good teams hopefully sim better, bad teams sim worse. And so in the franchise mode, guys, first things first, I'll show you the assets we're working with. I'm not sure if we'll make a trade before we even start the season, but maybe, honestly. So, as you can see here, Vince Dunn actually our highest valued player. No trade clause, though, so we're stuck with him for now. Beniers, Wright, also Berkeley Catton, forgot to mention earlier. Those are definitely 3 solid players. Could be like a 1, 2, 3C. McCann's 28, so, like, if we can rebuild fast, we can maybe still use him. Montour, Larson, Stevenson, those are guys definitely move on from. Riker Evans could be part of our defense in the future. Edward Sala, Jordan Eberle, I think another guy we move on from. Jagger Furcus, Ty Nelson, some decent prospects. I actually met Ty Nelson when we were in Seattle for the NHL 25 launch. Drake Sevic, they're not bad prospects. Same with Retkov. Tolvanen, of course, still only 25. In terms of the goaltending, Joey Decord there is 20 years old, 85 overall. So it's not too bad. The only thing that concerns me is if we're going to be bad, his rating might plummet. So we'll kind of see what happens there. And then in terms of the draft pick situation, you guys can see we got a couple seconds there. Obviously, they got back, you know, Tampa Bay's first, 2026. And 2027, so those are gonna be nice to have. And now next you guys what the lines for this team are actually looking like. So we got Jared McCann on the first line with Matty Beniers and Jordan Eberle. I was trying to think, like, who is the face of the Seattle Kraken to put on the thumbnail. I feel like it's gotta be Beniers. Obviously, second overall pick, their first ever pick, won a Calder Trophy. Should be able to show you guys that there. We definitely need him to kind of, like, you know, take over here as a true, you know, world-class two-way center. If we can get even close to, say, like a Patrice Bergeron, that'd be amazing for us. You got Jordan Eberle playing with him, of course, the captain. Again, he'll probably be moved very soon. We do get +5 on that first line. Capo coming over from the Rangers, I think could definitely be a player for us in the future. Stevenson, contract's not looking great because, you know, it's long term there. He's already 30 years old. He's still a decent player, though. Again, just we can't move him for 4 years. So I guess we just have to hope he plays well. Tolvanen there also with really good waiver pickup. Schwartz there is pretty solid two-way winger. Shane Wright, of course, I'm a big fan of. Play with the Spits. Hopefully, can turn into a player for us. Burakovsky's not too bad. Cardi there on the fourth line. Myers somehow gets a spot. Asamont as well. Of course, they trade away some depth there. Bjorkstrand as well as Yanni Gord. Top D pair is not bad at all. Vince Dunn, Brandon Montour, Larson, Evans on the second with Alexiak and Mahura on the bottom. In terms of the goaltending, as I already mentioned, Doyle Decart our starter. Grubauer backing him up. I think he's also got a no trade, but it's only a 10-team no trade, so maybe we can somehow move him, bring in somebody else. I'll show you guys the AHL goalies. Our starter there is Steska. I don't know if you guys watched the video the other day. I was actually ranking the goalies. I wasn't sure who this was. I thought he might have been Grubauer for a sec. Nicholas Kakko here, actually a really good prospect goalie. 71 high starter. Tore it up in the Finnish league. He's actually doing really well right now for Coachella. The first line there, of course, we got Jagger Furcus. I'm hoping can be a player. Second line, you know, no one too crazy. We do have Edward Sala there on the third. I feel like I'll put him on the second line, actually play him with Logan Morrison. He did really good in the OHL. I think he led the league in scoring. So he's an undrafted free agent. Medium bomb 6 potential. You never know. Even Neiman here is high top 9 potential. Fourth line, you got Fisker Molgaard, who sometimes becomes a player. Also, too, shout out Jacob Mellinson. I actually met him in Seattle with Ty Nelson. He was telling me he used to watch all my Hut Pack openings back in the day, so that was really cool to hear. Hopefully, we can actually, turn him into a player in this sim. And then in terms of defense, guys, nothing too crazy. Onavainen, I believe, is our best one. Medium top 6. Actually, I guess it would be Ty Nelson. Sorry, medium top 4. He's just only a 69 right now. So, hopefully some of these guys do hit. Definitely going to try and get younger. Like I said, we're not going to be trying to win for at least, a few years here, but I think that is the approach to take. And if you guys just didn't know, in terms of the captaincy, as I mentioned, everywhere's the C, and then we got Dunn and Larson there, both ranked A's. I'll take a quick look at the contract situation. We do have almost 12 million in cap space. I feel like most of these guys, I guess Capo Caco, we could extend. Riker Evans as well. Probably would make sense to do it right now, because we know he's going to be decent. He already wants 3.8. I mean, that's really not bad. 4 years, 4.2. I do see him being a player. I'll offer him 4x4, no clauses or anything. Hopefully he'll say yes. If not, we'll just circle back. Calco signed a 1 year, so we actually cannot extend him yet. Cardi, I mean, if he's cheap, he's worth taking. 1 year, 1.15. Honestly, yeah, that's probably fine. Just over $1 million. I think he can be like a decent depth forward. And in terms of free agency, guys, I actually did want to sign one player. None of the skaters, I don't really think they move the needle for us. Plus, I wouldn't want to be like a dick and, put Phil Kessel on our team. I'd like to see him maybe on a competitor. Derek Ryan, I think, should be on the Oilers. Maybe there was like a clone or something that sometimes happens. But I'm actually looking at Martin Jones here to be the AHL starting goalie. Reason being, our AHL goalies are pretty bad. Give the AHL team a chance to actually play well. We'll give him a league min contract, 1 year. Hopefully he'll say yes. And we're actually on our first conversation, guys, with our head coach, Dan Bilesma. Curious to see what he thinks about this team for the year. He says good enough to compete for a playoff spot. I mean, I don't think so. But again, you lose management morale. I don't think you lose anything if you agree. I could be wrong. They just doesn't really explain it that well. I feel like they have all this empty real estate on the right. They really should kind of do a better job of explaining the pros and cons to different answers. And now in terms of the rest of the conversations, I mean, we're trying to get our guys to grow faster. Probably offensive defensive awareness would make the most sense. You definitely want to save team bonding for when you're actually trying to compete. Also, too, this would probably help us in terms of, trading away some of our veterans. This is an interesting one, guys. Red Wings want to give us JT Compher, a 5th and a 7th for Larson. I don't really want that contract for the next 4 years. Again, we already have Stevenson. Pretty similar player, basically like a better version of Compher, I would say. And there you go, guys. Cardi did accept the contract extension. Evans rejected. Okay, we'll have to offer him more money. Martin Jones rejected. Not enough roster spots. It said 45 of 50, but we must just have a bunch of goalies. So, I mean, you know what? Try to make the HL team better, but whatever. Gonna try offering Riker Evans an extra $250,000 here on the stay in 4-year deal. I feel like he's within the 2 bars there. He should say yes. And now check out Riker Evans here. His rookie season rejects our offer. I'm seeking a consistent playoff team. That's a pretty bold answer from the rookie. And like always, guys, I went through and hired new scouts trying to get A+ on the major regions. Actually had to be there for the Russian one. Same with SHL, a couple ligas. So overall, pretty good. I do the 3 Central now just because the East and West don't have as many guys. Then we have 2 in the Q, OHL and WHL. In terms of the coaches, I'm actually just leaving them the same. Dan Bilesma, of course, is a solid coach. And luckily for us, both goalie coaches actually already had A+ teaching. So kind of what you want. Obviously, too, we're not trying to be amazing, so I'll just leave it and see what happens. And before I start the sim, guys, we wouldn't mind leaving a thumbs up on this video. It really helps me out. And now look at this, guys. Flyers are offering us a 4th and a 5th for Alexiak. I feel like he's worth a lot more than that, especially if we wait till the trade deadline. So far, the team's actually not doing well, which is good. We're 1-6. Again, we're trying to get a high pick this year. Pick up either Schaefer, Misa, Martone, Hagens, whoever. And so now, guys, we're in December here with a record at 18, 17, and 3. So we're actually positive now after that terrible start. Obviously, we want to kind of drop down. We're currently in a wildcard position. Interesting. I mean, I'm always a believer. If you get in, you got a chance, especially like in franchise mode, NHL 25. A lot of times, 8 seed will win the cup. So, I mean, I guess we just play, it's safe for now and see what happens come trade deadline. Obviously, if we can somehow luck into a cup, I will always take that. AHL team, 11, 15, and 4th. They're not doing quite as good. They're actually second last in their division. That's kind of why I wanted to add Martin Jones, but for now, it's fine. And now I just got to offer you guys from the Preds a 4th round pick in Smith for a 5th and a 7th. So we jump up around and then give up a 7th for Smith. This doesn't seem that bad. Could you actually plan our 4th line? Because right now, could maybe use some help. This is Cole Smith, of course. 78 overall, 29 years old, 4th liner, grinder. Physical stats, though, are not that bad. I feel like this is a decent trade. I'm going to say yes to that. And I was looking at our 4th line here, guys, for where to sub in Smith. I noticed Acemont's up to an 80 now, which is awesome to see. Cardi 79. So maybe we move on from like Burakovsky or Schwartz and just have Cardi, or I guess Acemont move up. And then, of course, we can sub in Smith. Also, 2 rights now at 83. So I think that's a mixture of both the preseason conversation as well as, him having elite potential. Same goes for Matty Beniers up to an 86. Stevenson as well went +1. Tolvin in there, I think was 83 now, and 84. McCann was 86, now 87. Dunn and Montour both up 1. Larson's up 1. Evans, I want to say he was 81 to start the year, right? Now he's 83. Probably going to be wanting even more money from us. Goalies there, no change. So, yeah, Smith does just give us a bit of options, you know, come trade deadline. We are currently still in a wildcard spot. We're actually tied with the Canucks, though, for 3rd divisional spot. So, yeah, we're just going to ride this out till the deadline, get a better idea of where we're at. And I noticed, too, a big reason why we're playing well. Joey Decourt, 919 save percentage. That's really nice numbers. And now Calvin DeHaan here, guys, is on waivers by the Rangers. I'm sure you guys probably saw the news recently. He's upset. Only played a few games for them, even though he's been in 3 wins, I believe. I'll pick him up, again, just like an insurance option in case maybe we do trade Alexiak, whoever. And look at this, guys. In this season, the Flames actually fired their head coach, Ryan Huska. We're getting close to the trade deadline. I think we've lost, like... I'm trying to do a quick addition. We've lost, like, 5 of our last 6, and still we're only a point back of the Canucks for the 3rd divisional spot. I think the wildcard spot is actually harder to get. We've just passed the Canucks with a win against the Predators, 65 points there to 64. And before, yeah, back of the Jets there for the wild card. We're actually behind the Wild, who are going to miss the playoffs. So it's us or the Canucks, I guess, getting that 3rd spot. So we might as well not fully blow it up. But I'm still going to try and look to make trades for the future. Because even if we say added, we could still miss. So got to do what's right for the club in the long term. In terms of the AHL team, they're playing a little bit better now. They're 3rd last in division opposed to just 2nd last. And the AHL leading scorer here is actually Brandon Biro. Hopefully I said that right. 48 points. It's not too bad at this point. And in NHL, it's Jared McCann there with 53 points. We actually have no rookie on the team this year. I'll probably change that next season. I think maybe Burke the Cannon can make the team. Also, Vince Dunn already having 44 at the deadline is also pretty impressive. And so I would say, what even are we? We are a conservative seller, I guess. Like, I'm looking to sell more than buy, but obviously nothing too crazy. Brock Besser, of course, a lot of people are saying probably going to be signed with a new team this summer. Apparently, someone got a picture of him with a, team-signed Canucks jersey. Matheson there, Brady Shea, Larson. That's our assistant GM doing that. Pedersen there, O'Reilly, Raquel, JT Compher, Provorov, Garland. Okay. I mean, I'm definitely interested to try and flip Grubauer for, like, any of these guys, but don't think that's going to happen. So next year, guys, making a bit of a weird trade. The Jets trying to get Colby Barlow, who's on the block. Solid prospect. 72 overall. He's a sniper there. Good shot. Definitely, did well in the O. Iaffello has, like, no value. 82 overall, making $4 million. He's decent defensively. I think could be, fine in our bottom 6. James Schwartz, I'm retaining $1 million, but I'm basically... Ooh, what is this? Wait, what? Connor Geekie in a 5th? For a 3rd, a 4th, DeHaan, and a 7th. So, I mean, the 4th and the 5th, call that a wash. A 3rd, DeHaan, and a 7th for Connor Geekie. Thank you very much, Tampa Bay. I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth. I don't know what they were thinking there, but still going to try and make this Winnipeg trade happen. That is crazy. I feel like Connor Geekie could actually, pretty much immediately jump into our lineup. And now what I was going to say, guys, I feel like Iaffello is pretty much the same kind of player as Schwartz is. Iaffello is 82, so I guess Schwartz is 1 overall higher, but Iaffello's defensive stats are a bit better. And then the 2nd round pick, we're not going to get a player as good as Barlow with that because it's the least pick. It'll be a late 2nd. If the Jets say yes to this, I think it's a great one for us. And they're rejecting it quite close to fair value, so we should be able to add a sweetener here to make this happen. 7th, 2026, Devils. And now they're saying yes. Okay, so I think we're looking pretty good, especially like Connor Geekie could just join the team. Brock Besser there on the move. I like to maybe trade Burakovsky. Like, that 3rd line just isn't really working for us. Plus, 2 would be nice to get out from that contract. And look at this, guys. I'm looking for some teams to trade for. Boston, even without Marchand, Carlo, etc. They're still doing well, 35 and 23. And now next year, guys, trying to make a trade with Buffalo, running out of time, offering up Burakovsky, staring in there, medium starter goalie. Again, we got the high starter and a 4th. Basically, just trying to get back Jack Quinn. James Reimer would actually be an upgrade on Grubauer for the backup, but Quinn's still only 23, 82, medium top 6. I think could be a player for us. We don't really have too many, young snipers. Value would be on our side. Buffalo Sabres reject, saving money to resign guys. Basically, we have to really make it, worth their while. 3rd and 5th, I guess. There'd be a bit more value. And they're still saying no. Okay, so I guess we're holding on to Burakovsky. Again, it's kind of complicated because guys I was trying to trade away, it was 4 contenders, and most contenders just didn't have the salary cap space to actually take them on. But Tampa Bay definitely saved that trade deadline. I'm not really sure what Breezeball was thinking. So looking around here, we'll see Jake Evans goes to Boston. We actually made back-to-back trades there. Seamus Casey going to the Utah Hockey Club. I would have made that trade with the Devils. A 3rd, a 4th, and Carconi. I should have been all over that. Jeez. Pedersen there to Utah as well. Ethan Gauthier to the Flames. Grizzlick there to the Wild. JT Compher to the Boston Bruins. Brock Besser goes to the Jets with Suter. Cole Eiserman to the Canadians with a 1st and a 2nd. Montreal trades Matheson, Dvorak. So in this sim, they are selling Jane Perron there to the Capitals. Interesting for Toronto, the Sabres. Sabres weren't even doing that good, so interesting trade there with the Ducks. Second rounder, Ryan Johnson, going back the other way. And so after the trade deadline, guys, just update a look at the team. First line still the same. We're getting a +5 chem. I think second line there also the same. Third, though, is now Iafallo, Wright, and Burakovsky. And then the fourth line here, you got Cardi playing with Geeky as well as Asamot. So hopefully Geeky here can grow. He actually wasn't even playing at all in Tampa. No NHL or AHL stats. They just have him scratched. So, I mean, should be happy even if he's on the fourth line. And then defensively here also, no changes. And I totally forgot to, guys, actually show you the special teams at the beginning of the season. So quickly here, you can see power play 1 gets a +4. We actually got Montour and Dunn both on it. The second unit, -3. Not ideal. First 4-man's a +2. Second one, -3 again. PK, though, looks pretty good. We got a lot of solid two-way forwards, whether it be Beniers, Kakko, Stevenson, Wright, for that matter, Iafallo, Geeky. Like, we definitely got guys. Probably could actually use some better defensive defensemen. Alexiak and Larson are solid, but then after that, Dunn, not too bad. Montour's more offensive. Evans is offensive. Mahura's just kind of like, an average defenseman. So maybe that's something we look to get once we actually start competing. And then in terms of the AHL team, actually move some things around. So Salah's down the second line. Morrison here, second line center. He's naturally a centerman. I'm not sure how we ended up getting him on a left wing. That might have just been an error on our part, but 72 faceoffs. He'll do fine there. Melanson as well, now on the third line. So hopefully makes the AHL team play a little bit better. Nelson's up to a 70 now. He's on the top pair, getting a +3. They're probably not going to make the playoffs. So basically just trying to see what works for next season. We're getting towards the end of the season here, guys, and Dan Bowsman wants to have a conversation with us. So I think that means we've clinched our playoff spot, and we have. So I guess he was right. Should have listened to him. Honestly, I think the main thing is just the Pacific Division was not good at all of this year. So, I mean, kind of cool we actually have a chance. I don't really think we have a good one or anything, but once you're in the playoffs, anything can happen. We've obviously seen it happen both in-game as well as real life. So we finished third place there in the Pacific with 88 points. Ended up with a 4-point lead on the Canucks. So I think the biggest kind of surprise would be the Kings only having 78. I'm not sure how they did so bad. And then over in the Central, we actually are going to be basically tied to the wildcard team. So I feel like we did earn our spot. Lightning 123 looks to be winning the President's Trophy. In terms of the AHL team, they're still third last there. But I mean, only a win back of being kind of middle there of the standings in their division, which isn't terrible. And so now looking at the stats here, guys, you can see Jared McCann finished with the team leading score with 73 points. Pretty big drop off after that. Chandler Stevenson, 55. Dunn, 55, which is solid. -20 is not ideal, though. Everly there. Kakko, almost 50 points. Beniers, 44 is pretty much identical to real life. Tolvin, 43. Montour, 42, -19. So honestly, might have to split up Montour and Dunn. Maybe put Larson top pair, because I did not realize the top D pair had that bad of a +-. So got to pay better attention to that for sure. Connor Geeky, 3 points, 19 games, coming over. I mean, he's playing fourth line, like third PK. Not a ton of ice time. Joey Decord did well, 914, 28 goals against. Grubauer did better as a 78, 915, 264. Seems to always be the case with the backup goalies. AHL, didn't really expect much from either goalie, but they actually had decent numbers. Then in terms of players to look forward to, so Bureau there's leading guys, 27 though. Mitchell Stevenson's 28. Jagger Furcus though, close to 50. Morrison, 43. I think that's also pretty close to real life. Ty Nelson there, 35 as a D-man. Isn't too bad. Sala, 32. Like to see him doing a little bit better. And in terms of the entire league, guys, David Pastrnak went off. 122 points. Are you kidding me? 73 goals? How? That is just insane. We actually tried to nerf him a bit. We reduced his shot. I think I even maybe reduced his shot frequency slightly. Still just pops off. No Marchand. Doesn't matter. No true 1C. It's just crazy. Aho there at number 2. Point, Kucherov, Stuchla. Only 5 guys, though, with 100+ points. Real life, there's going to be like, I guess, honestly, that's not too far off of real life. I feel like, high scoring, you have, I don't know, 20 guys with 100+ points. It gets a bit crazy. Elias Lindholm definitely just benefited from being Pasternak's 1C here. 99 points. Definitely going to get a huge jump in rating from the 85. And then you got Ovi there with 43 goals. So he does break Gretzky's record in the sim. And then in terms of goals, yeah, it's Pasta 1, then McKinnon, then Matthews. In terms of defensive scoring, Quinn Hughes and Kel McCarr are tied, but Quinn Hughes got a +29. So should be winning the Norris. Kind of crazy. He's probably going to win the Norris here without the Canucks actually making the playoffs. And then goaltending stats, Vasilevsky, 50 wins. Wow, what a year for him. In terms of the save percentage, he also had Vasilevsky there, 926. And then lowest goals against for a starter is also Vasilevsky. Charlie Lindgren there had some awesome numbers as a backup, but yeah, Vezina for sure. He's got it locked. And then rookie skaters, Michkov, 73 points. Demidov, Montreal actually played. So like I mentioned, I boosted him to a rating where they could play him, could not. He's 84 now. I had him at an 80, so it was kind of like, could be a really good AHL player. Maybe they have him lower in the NHL lineup. And they decided to play him. And I mean, he did well, so respect. Celebrini there as well. Nikishin gets played too. for the Carolina Hurricanes. Kind of surprising. He's like at 77, so I don't know how he ended up making the lineup, but I got Lane Hudson there, only 39, so obviously real life did a lot better. And now in terms of the entire league, guys, as I mentioned, Lightning there winning the President's Trophy. It's actually Panthers in 2, so the top 2 teams, the Florida teams. Boston, of course, does make it in. Islanders, kind of a surprise. Columbus, St. Louis, I mean, they're fighting. We're a surprise team for sure. Minnesota deserved to be there. Rangers just missed. Same with the Preds, Penguins. Again, LA, I think, probably the biggest shock. Finishing 27th in the league, only 78 points. I guess Montreal as well, 71. I wouldn't expect them to do that bad. Now, in terms of goals for, I doubt we're at the top. We're not. We're actually at the lower side of things, 227 goals for. So try and make that better. Goals against, we're actually one of the better teams, though, 232. I was mentioning getting a more defensive defenseman, but we also need some goal scorers. So I think at the end of the day, we did kind of luck into a playoff spot here. So hopefully make the most of it. It does hurt the rebuild for sure. We're not going to have a high pick, but hopefully we can still find somebody, you know, late first round. So we've actually got the other expansion team, Vegas Golden Knights, in our first playoff matchup. That's pretty cool. And so you got Barbashev, Eichel, and Stone on the first line, which is kind of sick. That's actually the real life first line. Durafeyev, Hurdle, Carlson, Howden, Wass, Smith, Kolastar, Saad, and Pearson. They got Saad as 4C, which is weird. Defensively, Theodore, Petrangelo, McNabb, Hannafin, Haig, Whiteclaw. This team is just so much better than us. Samsonov, Hill. You could make an argument. Joey Decord might be better goalie than Aiden Hill. It's pretty close. That might be like the only spot we're actually tied. They're definitely the better team. Obviously, we have Stevenson going up against his old team, so maybe a little bit of something to prove here. I don't know. They're going to have the home ice advantage. Vegas usually plays pretty good at home, so not too optimistic about this, but again, you never know in the sim. And just like that, we win game 1. Game number 2 now, still going to be in Vegas. And we pull out another win, 5-3, headed home to Seattle. There's our first loss, 5-4. But, I mean, a 1-goal loss, that's not that bad. Can we actually take a lead here? Game 4 at home. Unfortunately, we cannot. So far, the visiting team has won every single game. Can we keep that trend going? Game 5. And we do not. 3-2 loss by 1. So we lose by 1 there again to the Vegas Golden Knights. Have to win Game 6 at home to force us to Game 7. And we do pull it off, 4-1. Do or die. Game 7 in Vegas. And a 5-4 loss. I mean, honestly, to play that close to the Vegas Golden Knights, every single game we lost to them, except for one, was by 1 goal. Pretty impressive. Now, as cool as it was to make the playoffs in the first year, I would rather have not made the playoffs, be a first-round exit, and actually had a high pick. Probably could have, you know, fired Bilesma, did some other stuff, but I didn't want to, like, you know, do it too crazy where you bring in, like, AHL goalie coach to be your head coach. At least, you know, give him a chance and see if he actually is up to the task. So maybe this team is closer than I originally expected. Maybe we actually can just kind of do a bit of a retool here, get them going. And now the playoffs are complete, guys. The Tampa Bay Lightning there actually went on to win the Stanley Cup. So, I mean, probably start talking dynasty, right? 3 Stanley Cups in, I think, is that 5 years? 4 Cup final appearances. Also, Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, should mention, won the Calder. Philly picking 1. Very curious to see what they'll do. LA 2. Kind of sucks. We have so many Pacific teams picking high. Sharks at 3, Calgary 4. Like I said, I would definitely have rathered a high pick in this draft, but we'll try and make the most of the one we have. And so looking at this playoff tree here, guys, you can see the Lightning beat the Sens in 6, Leafs in 6, Carolina Hurricanes in 7, and then the Avs in 7. I mean, not too far off what could actually happen in real life. We know first round we'll be playing the Florida Panthers, but after that, the rest of the matchups actually could happen. And check this out, guys. Mr. Clutch himself, Jordan Eberle, had himself a playoff. 10 points in 7 games. Love seeing that from the captain. McCann, there was a point per game. Wright was pushing. Same with Tolvanen and Beniers. Take a look and see the court stats. Not too bad. 909, obviously worse than regular season, but good enough, I think, to win a playoff round. So team awards there. Tampa Bay with the clean sweep. You got Pastrnak, though, with Dart Ross, and the Hart. Quinn Hughes got the James Norris. Pastrnak also got Lady Bing. Michkov, Calder, Point, Conn Smythe. Vasilevsky with the Vezina. Also got the William Jennings. Big year for Tampa. Ferraro there, Bill Masterton. Evason, Jack Adams. Honestly, if the Blue Jackets somehow can make the playoffs, he still might get it over Capitals coach there in Carberry. You got Kopitar winning the Selke, even though the Kings did terrible. Interesting. Pastrnak, Ted Lindsay, and the Maurice Richard. Now, in terms of the AHL guys, as I mentioned, Wilkes-Barre Scranton there with Calder Cup. You got Ryan Leonard playing down in there. He actually had the most points and MVP and most goals and best rookie. What a year for Ryan Leonard. Okay. Mike Riley there, best defenseman. Miftakov, hopefully I said that right, best goalie. McGroarty MVP of the playoffs, kind of cool. Miroshichenko, another AHL player for the Capitals. Sportsmanship, oh man, they're going to be looking good. Ryan Murray was actually on Providence, got community involvement, and then Blomqvist there had the lowest goals against down in the A. So we got our work cut out for this summer. I'm still not really sure this team's identity. We made the playoffs, but I don't trust it. You know what I mean? I feel like it might have been a fluke. So if we start to buy, that could be the wrong thing, especially, you know, giving up any good prospects, picks, things like that. Now, retired players in the first year, you got Jack Johnson, Riley Nash, really nobody. Unfortunately, not the real life ones like your Patty Maroon, Alex Vlasic. I think there's, you know, a couple guys I'm obviously missing. Marc-Andre Fleury, who is still going. And now before we get to the draft, guys, I'd like to take care of one piece of business. That's trying to get Riker Evans extended. Hopefully not too much more than before. 4.8 for 3, 5 for 4. I mean, that's not that much crazy than what we're offering. He honestly might just say yes to this. We'll try that. What we're offering, like 4.25. So gets an extra $500,000. He's actually higher rated now. So really not even that bad. And so now, guys, we're at the NHL Entry Draft, and I'm finally going to tell you about that other rule I mentioned at the beginning of the video, and that is that we cannot trade up in the first round of the draft. So we can trade up in the second, third, fourth, etc., but we cannot trade up in the first. So if we're picking 2, you know, we can't move up to 1, get the generational player. Really hurts us here because we're picking at 18. And I feel like not too far away, there's going to be a really good player, but it'll definitely make this rebuild more challenging, probably more realistic, and I also hope, you know, just a bit more fun, right? Like I said, I'm always down for the challenge, so I always have difficulty on hard, things like that. Here they have Hagens at 1, Schaefer 2, made up guy, and then you got Martone, Misa, Frondell 6. So we're picking 18. What are we looking at? We're looking at Mertka there, maybe Ryabkin could fall. You got Reshny there, Kindle, Aitchison. I mean, we're going to get a decent player, but we're definitely not going to get, you know, a game breaker by any means. Honestly, could just take, you know, Jack Nesbitt here, plays for the Spits. I'm a big fan of his. Now looking at gems, they got Rimpin in here. I think he's high starter, but still third round's not too bad. And then guaranteed potential, this Mooney guy could be high elite. He's probably, dang, what would he be? Because high top 9 to go early second. He could be high top 9. LJ Mooney. I mean, he's honestly a guy who could maybe, like, try to trade back for. Also, Joshua Ravensburg in here, going to go early second round. See, it's so annoying. I think we dropped him to medium elite and just does not make him go high enough. Oh my goodness, guys, look at this. First year scouts already hitting. American goalie, guaranteed medium elite, going to be like a 7th round pick. Love that. We've also got a guaranteed medium top 4 defenseman, Kenny Cruz. I like the name. Going to go, what, 4th round? Another good find by the scouts. And so I'll just send to our pick here, guys, see what's available. Merca just went, Martin there. Hensler, O'Brien, Bear, Lakovic, Spence, Smith, Eklund, Desnoyers, McQueen, Frondell. I mean, honestly, this looks not too bad apart from the made-up guy. Also, Misa. There's a chance he actually goes first overall now. But when we were doing these rankings last, I think it was like a 50-50 between Hagens and Schaefer at the time. Now I feel like, honestly, maybe make all 4 of them the same rating because it's anyone's best guess, like, you know, who's going to go where in between those 4 guys. Obviously, any team that wants a defenseman, though, would be taking Schaefer. The fact LA gets him, they're going to be pretty deadly in the future with both him and Clark on their top pair. So I'm trying to make a trade here, guys. Montreal Canadiens. Again, I'm moving down, not up. I'm not allowed to move up, but I can move down. Offering up 18 here for 23. We're then actually moving up, though, in the second, which is allowed. 35 there. I'm not sure if this will be enough compensation for the Canadiens to actually, you know, give us 15 spots in the second, but maybe it will. Trades rejected, quite close. Okay, that's good to see. Makes sense to me. Like, they're moving up in the first round, which is more valuable usually. Add a 7th, they say yes. So I'm really hoping our guy, Jack Nesbitt, is still there at 23, and then we can get a nice player early in the second round. Aitchison there, Kindle, Reshny, Ryabkin, Carbonneau there, all went with those next picks. So yeah, we'll take our guy. I'm hoping he'll actually grow. I don't know really what he usually does, honestly, in the sim, so I'm just basically making this as a fan. Spitfire is actually looking really good right now. Up 3-0 on the Rangers as I record this video. So hopefully, like I said, it'll be a big-time player for us in the future. And I just named our early second-round pick, guys. Moore just went there, Trethway. So I'm probably going to take that American, hope for the best. Ravensburgen would be the safe pick, but I feel like we've done it so often. Let's try and take LJ Mooney here. If he's high top 9, I'm going to be so pissed. And he says he is high top 9. Okay, well, you know what? It was worth the risk. And honestly, guys, I should have known that. He's a real player. If he was high top 6, I would have known that. So you know what? It is what it is. And so next year, guys, we'll send to our next pick in the 4th round. I am curious to see, though, Ravensburgen. So Benak went after us, 67 medium top 6. He might have been a better pick. We'll see. High top 9 can, you know, get good. Yeah, Ravensburgen. Wait, he is high elite. I was going to say, I didn't think we made a medium. 72 overall high elite going early second. Like, the game needs to rank goalies a bit more fair. That is way too late in the draft for a goalie. It basically makes it a cheat code to take him, right? But, like, what are you supposed to do when they just always have them going that late? And so now next year, guys, with our 4th round pick, it works out really well. We can take Kenny Cruz, American defenseman, guaranteed medium top 4. And he's also 70 overall. That's actually late 4th round pick. That's an absolute steal of a pick. And now next year, guys, trying to make a trade with the Tampa Bay Lightning, offering up a 6th rounder next year for an early 7th this year. I'm, doing a pretty nice trade there, but what they don't know, what we do is we're going to get a guaranteed medium league goalie with that pick. So will that guy ever actually end up playing for us? Probably not, but he will be a really nice piece. That's Caden Mancari. Maybe it's Manchari. I'm not sure. 47 overall, but elite potential, early 7th round. Take that all day. As our draft's now over, guys, only had 4 picks there, but I feel like, they all turned out pretty good. And there we go, guys. Riker Evans did say yes to the contract extension, so I don't think we'll have too much to do this summer in terms of that. I'm going to try and be pretty active here in the trade market. I want to try and make this team just either a bit better and or a bit younger, like one of the two. Capo Caco now at 84, needs a new deal. He should be a solid, middle 6 winger for us. Maybe eventually a top line guy. I have seen him grow before. Lowly potential, 6 years, 5.6. I mean, if he gets up to like a high 80, this isn't that bad of a contract. Try 5.25, especially with no clause on it, so we can trade him if it doesn't work out. Don't mind that. Iafallo down to an 81 now. Won't be bringing him back. Asamoah at 79. Yeah. Hill will not be back. Same with Mahura. Myers is 26. We'll be letting him go. Fleury. A lot of guys here are going to be gone. Lajoie. So we'll need some AHL free agents for sure. We'll need another AHL goalie to go with Kakko. Honestly, we'll probably need actually an NHL goalie. I feel like we'll bury Grubauer. 5.9 the next 2 years. I mean, we're not going to be competing for the cup, even if we are a playoff team, so we probably just eat that next year, maybe the year after we buy him out. I am curious the cost, though. $2 million for 4 years. Yeah, I feel like hopefully by that 4th year, we'd actually rather have the $2 million as a competitive team. These 3 goalies are all kind of meh, so probably let them go too. Just a lot of guys I don't really think worth re-signing. And there you go, guys. Kakko did accept the offer, so that was the one big thing we had to get done. We still have $8.2 million in cap space, which isn't bad, but if there's like a Mitch Marner or anything like that available, obviously we will have to shed some cap space to make a play. And now, guys, it's time for the free agency period. Curious to see what's out there. Okay, so we got Marchand as the #1 free agent. I don't see Marner or Tavares. At least somehow getting both those guys under contracts, pretty impressive. Now, there's actually a second rule I want to add for this series, guys. Again, I see your comments. Want to make it more challenging, not so easy. We can sign whatever free agents we want, but we can't actually offer them any more money than what they're expected. So Marchand, for instance, the max offer we can make is $9,375. Basically, I think it'll make it, more challenging to sign these guys. We'll be kind of, in a fair competition with the rest of the AI teams. Now, who I'm seeing here, I don't really know, honestly, to make a play on. Matt Duchene, maybe on like a 1-year deal. Could be a guy that helps this team out. Brent Burns, I don't think we need. The fact he's actually up in rating, 87 at 40, is kind of crazy. You got some former captains there, Jamie Benn, Claude Giroux. You've also got Patrick Kane available, Sam Bennett. So Paterka there should be an RFA. Same with Bowen Byram. Byram's a guy I wouldn't mind getting. Now, $6.2 million I think would cost us a first, and in case we're bad, it's probably too risky. Ryan Lindgren's here if we do want a defensive defenseman, $5 million. Taking a look at goalies, Freddie Anderson, okay. Lucas Dostal, Alex Lyon. If we wanted like a better backup, maybe Jake Allen's a guy we go for. Just on a 1 year there at like $2 million. And I'll check 2-way goalies here just in case somebody good. He'll be only a 74 at 23, even though he's starter. Really not crazy. Now we do need some AHL skaters, as I mentioned. Chris Pelosi here, 2073 medium top 9. That's not terrible. And we got a bunch of contract spots right now. We got like 15. So I will give him an offer. He says yes immediately. Dargachensev, 2477. I've signed him before. He usually does pretty good in the AHL, so can get him locked up as well. And with the 2-way players, guys, usually the longer you wait, kind of high-rated guys will come available. Basically, if they're not getting the NHL deal, then they'll just sign an AHL one. And now I'm trying to trade here, guys, Philadelphia Flyers. Philip Grubauer for Ristolainen. Both 2 years left. Ristolainen making $800K less. Grubauer could definitely be Philadelphia's best goalie. No offense to the guys they got right now, but like Urson, Fedotov aren't that great. So also give them a 6th round pick because we are getting a skater there opposed to a goalie, plus making a bit less money. And they say no. Again, I feel like, Ristolainen is a serviceable player, so it saves us from having to buy out Grubauer. Plus, Grubauer as a backup doesn't really do much for us. I'd give them one of our 4th rounders to make this trade happen. Ristolainen could just be bottom D pair. They're still saying no. Okay, I feel like that was probably the most I'm willing to give up. And now I was curious about contracts, guys. Are you kidding me? Mitch Marner's 95 overall, and he signed for 8.6. I don't know how the Leafs got him to sign for that. Like, almost half of what he's worth. Tavares there, 6. I mean, that one's a bit better, but still pretty cheap. I don't know. The 8.6 for Marner is crazy. And so now right here, guys, trying to trade the Utah Hockey Club, trying to get Alex Kerfoot, 1 year left at $3 million. He's actually looking really good. I think they might have focused on his defensive stats. 88 D awareness, 89 shot block, 86 stick check, decent skater there. Just a, decent all-around player. Burakovsky, like I said, getting paid way too much. Offering him in a fourth to basically shed salary. Plus Kerfoot's just done this year. So if we're not doing well, we could definitely flip him at the deadline. And they said no to that, which, honestly, everything I just said makes it sound like we probably should be giving up more. But they say yes with the third, so there we go. Like I said, I think we can easily get back at least a third, hopefully a second, honestly, to make up for losing Burakovsky come deadline. And like I was saying, guys, looking at the free agents available, I'd like Matt Duchene. 1 year, I think that, gives us that flexibility of, okay, yeah, definitely not the full no trade. You need at least a modified. We do like 50% because we want to make sure if we're not doing well, we can't flip him at the deadline. So 7.45, I'll just offer him, the max there. We don't really have much else to spend this money on, and hopefully he'll sign with us. And I should mention too, guys, because it seems impossible to trade Grubauer. I tried a couple other trades that just weren't going anywhere. Probably just get to hold on to him, make him our backup goalie. Duchene rejected, and he goes with a Pacific Division rival there in the Vancouver Canucks. Ristolainen being offered us now by the Flyers for the 7th for 2 fourths. I mean, we'll counter back with Grubauer. Fedotov, 1 year left at 3.2. I mean, if we're doing that, I feel like we can definitely take off 4th round pick. We'll take off the 7th too. Grubauer in a 4th for Fedotov. Ristolainen. Weird trade. What do they say? Rejected. Yeah, okay. I'm not taking on Ristolainen's contract for free. Now, speaking of Ristolainen, guys, could still use a bottom pairing right-handed defenseman. David Savard here could be nice. Dante Fabro is a bit younger. Lower rated, wants 3 years. Savard wanting 1 is exactly what we're looking for. We could also offer him the modified no trade. We'll do 36, 50%. Maybe he'll just accept immediately here. And he does. So yeah, there we go. Shot blocking X Factor is nice. And again, can flip him come deadline if we're not doing well. We still need at least 1 forward. Could bring Yanni Gord back. Tampa Bay obviously could not afford him. Claude Giroux, if we're looking for that veteran presence. Patrick Kane there as well. And now Corey Perry's here, guys. I feel like he could be a solid 4th line right wing. Definitely want him on a 1. So he's going to want, wow, a lot more money. It's not too bad, though. And again, this just leaves us flexible. Can retain half of that and trade him back to somebody. And then in terms of a top 6 forward, we're definitely looking at either Giroux, Benner, Patrick Kane. I'm assuming Patrick Kane is the best one. 20 goals, 30 assists. Yeah, basically 60 points there. Ben also had basically 60 points. And then Giroux here also is in the 60s. Okay, so have some options for us. I'm leaning towards Kane and Giroux. Could actually play 1st line right wing with Beniers and McCann. And I'm looking at the stats here, guys. Kane had 17 minutes of ice time and 58 points. He was just under 60. Giroux there, less ice time. He actually had 65 points. So we'll try and get Giroux on a 1 year. And hopefully, does well with us. Kind of like I've been doing this whole time. We'll also offer a 50% no trade. Same amount of money, just, what he's asking. See what he says. And there we go, guys. Perry said yes. We'll be playing 4th line right wing. Giroux rejected. Collect clear out demands in order to sign. You haven't met them. He didn't want a clause or anything unless he's changed his mind on a clause since we offered. I do see player request wants to be a top 6 forward, so I'll promise him that. I plan on playing him literally 1st line. So like you wanted, guys, going to offer top 6 forward. For some reason, the salary is at $10,000. Do a 16-team modified no trade. I got to increase the salary here. I don't know. Why is it at $10,000? Oh, it's literally glitched. I can only go up to $3 million. This game doesn't want me to have Giroux. Okay, I was able to increase the salary again. Now the contract interest there is pretty high, but again, I think it was like 5.75. So do an extra $750K, which now the max contract interest. I think he should sign that. And there we go, guys. Giroux did say yes. Now we can sign a Finisayev here as well. 24.76. Not too bad, especially like I said, AHL team needs some bodies. And we still need another AHL goalie, guys. So I'm gonna sign Magnus Corona here. 24.74 medium fringe. Nothing crazy, but for 1 year till we have another guy that's there, he'll work fine. Also Albert Wickman here, decent defenseman. 2023 pick by the Panthers. 2067. Medium top 6. Could get him for free in the system. I don't mind that. And we still could use a couple AHL defensemen, guys. Ludwig here, 24.77, low top 6. Isn't that bad. I'll sign him. Honestly, the AHL team, could use some help, which is kind of funny because in real life, Coachella is actually pretty good. I'm going to sign Ty Smith as well, guys. Just another kind of stopgap here until we have other, better players coming through. And now talking to Bilesman here, guys, again about next season. He thinks we'll be a playoff team again. We'll see if that actually happens. Preseason focus. I don't want to lower the speed again. I'm actually thinking we'll go physical here. Since we bumped the discipline last season, it basically is a free upgrade. And look at this trade offer, guys. The Avs want to give us a 2nd for a 4th, a 5th, and Smith. Smith's playing like 3rd line AHL, so that is a quick accept. And now next year, guys, I'll show what the team is looking like for next season. Honestly, I feel like this team could be a playoff team or they could miss. It's really up in the air. So I guess I kind of like the Kraken the last couple seasons. First line's now McCann, Beniers, and Giroux. They get a +5 chemistry boost. Beniers and McCann are up in rating. I feel like they'll do fine. Second line here, I've actually got Wright playing more minutes. I think that'll help his growth with elite potential. So he's playing left wing with Stevenson in the middle, Kako on the right side. Everly's actually dropped down to the 3rd line. He's 35. He's only got, what, like 1 more year left on his deal. I think it makes more sense. Playing with Kerfoot in the middle, Tolvin on the left side. And then we got Cardi back on the 4th line with Geeky and Perry. So not bad. Again, we're just missing, like, you know, a couple superstars to really carry this team. Defensively here, though, we're actually looking pretty good. Dunn and Montour top pair. I've got them actually both back together, as Larson and Evans kind of has to be the second one. Evans there, also offensive defenseman, so him and Montour cannot be the second pairing. And then Alexiak Savard are just a lot worse. I'll talk to these guys with the scheme fit, try and get better chemistry. But yeah, the defense, definitely no issues. It's the forward groups, we need some stars. And then Decord 87 now, he actually gained an X factor. I don't mind that. Even Grubauer is a 79, so not the end of the world. In terms of the AHL team, you can see mostly high 70s. I feel like they should be a better team than last year. Of course, Colby Barlow's coming in. Repkoff's on the AHL team now. The big thing is actually Dragicevic here, now an 80. Had a huge growth in the summer. Could be on the NHL team, but offensively, he's behind a lot of guys. Doesn't really make him sense to have him play bottom pair. So hopefully he'll tear up the AHL. Really good puck skills there. And I think he could make the team next season. And then in terms of the goaltending, we actually got Kako as a starter now. Him and Krona both 76. So, you know, expecting both teams to make improvements. More so the AHL, I think, than the NHL. But still, I do want to be optimistic. Now, in terms of the ratings, guys, for Season 2, we've got 88 offense, 93 defense, and 85 goaltending. So, excited to see what happens. If you guys enjoyed this one, leave that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the sub button down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.